All right, in our Smart Start today, this morning, everyone, a grieving family finally has justice as Troy Parker's trial ends in a guilty verdict. This Tuesday, that man was convicted of murdering a mother of 5 by setting her on fire, burning her alive.
Prosecutors say Parker had motive to do this. He was acquainted with the victim, Fantasia Stone, and was seen on surveillance video buying lighter fluid before her death last spring. The defense argued it was another man who framed Parker, but Parker was the one found guilty of both murder and arson. After hearing the verdict, we heard from Stone's family just outside the courtroom.
I didn't even have a chance. My mom missed my high school graduation. She missed my 19th birthday. She missed so much. She missed so much that I know if she was in that crowd, she'd be the main person crowding me on.
Parker's sentencing coming up in about a month. That is scheduled for February 28th.
Also in court, a man sentenced for a deadly shooting in Rochester back in 2022. Gerard Dozier pled guilty to manslaughter and will spend the next 22 years behind bars. Prosecutors say on November 12th, 2 years ago, that victim, Terry Howard, was shot several times on Norton Street. His wife and 2 kids were in the car with him at the time. Police identified Dozier as the shooter, and he was taken into custody the very next day.
The owners of a gun store in Greece say they may get out of town, maybe even New York, after this attempted smash and grab this week. Second one at the business in less than a year. Surveillance video from All Star Tactical shows that vehicle driving into the front of the store on Ridgeway Avenue Monday morning. Police say the suspects were in a stolen van. They didn't get anything from the store, though. Left a lot of damage, though. The owner says despite the alarm system and security measures, there was about $20,000 in damage done. Adding, moving the business now out of state is not out of the realm of possibility.
I got a call. Obviously, I'm in the middle of the night, so it's sort of like a not again, you know. And it's unfortunate because I've always prided myself in the amount of work we do that we don't have to do to prevent firearms from ending up in the wrong people's hands. In the end, if it's the only thing that's going to make my business survive, this might be what we have to do.
Police add this surveillance video shows the same suspects breaking into another business later that same morning. That was on Mount Read Boulevard. Again, they are looking for the same people, but no arrests have been made.
Rochester police say they need your help identifying 2 people wanted in connection to local burglaries. The first one happened January 8th at Dreamtown Deli on East Avenue, then the second on Rocket Street near Lawndale Terrace, January 27th. Police believe one of the suspects drove a blue Ford F-150 with a loud exhaust. They also believe the other suspect, as we're about to show you zoomed in here, is missing some fingers on the right hand. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 if you think you notice anything about these suspects.
President Joe Biden says he has made up his mind on how the U.S. will retaliate for the drone attack that killed 3 American soldiers over the weekend in Jordan. The Iranian-backed militia the U.S. blames for Sunday's deadly assault announced it is suspending military operations against American forces. A Pentagon spokesperson says there have been several more attacks aimed at U.S. troops since that drone strike just days ago in Jordan.
The public is weighing in on whether to keep or disband the partnership between East High School and the University of Rochester. Currently, U of R runs that school as part of a contract since 2014. Last night, parents, staff, and students shared their appreciation for East High, and they attribute a lot of their success to the partnership with the university. Many of them standing before the RCSD school board asking that this partnership be extended. But the district leaders say, while they're happy with the work that's been done so far, they don't think it's necessary anymore.
Because of our support. This partnership was something new, and it gave us different results. We need to keep this partnership, take the best of what we've learned from it, and implement it district-wide, not end it.
I don't believe there's a need to have the East EPO. Let me just put it out there. I don't believe there's a need to have it. I think with the people that we have working in the district now, on the senior level, the superintendent, his staff, that we can do just as an exemplary job as the partnership with the EPO did.
RCSD adds that renewing the partnership would not be financially responsible, but the families want the board to prioritize success of students over the budget. If it is not renewed, the partnership will end following the 2025-26 school year. As part of Governor Kathy Hochul's new budget proposal, she's looking to loosen some of the restrictions on physicians' assistants so that they can practice without any supervision from a physician.
The goal here is to expand care just overall. Iran Spitzer heard from experts in the industry to see how exactly this would work and what's different. She's here in studio to explain. Iran.
Yes, not only do they say this will increase access to care, those in the medical field think this will improve quality of care and patient outcome. Currently, one physician is able to supervise either up to 4 or up to 6 physician assistants, depending on where they work. The proposed bill would eliminate that administrative barrier. I spoke with a PA at Rochester Regional Health who says there is currently a shortage of healthcare professionals in New York, and PAs are well positioned to fill that gap if there were less administrative barriers. PAs can go through medical histories, perform physicals, order labs and x-rays, interpret them, and more. This isn't new. During the pandemic, there were executive orders which allowed PAs to practice to the fullest extent of their training. That ended last summer. Selma Muzinovich, VP of Advanced Practice at RRH, tells me this won't change how PAs work.
This allows us to remove those bureaucratic paperwork kind of barriers, and PAs and physicians will continue to practice in a collaborative team-based model. So this does not anticipate broadening the scope of PAs. They are going to stay within the same scope that they're currently under New York state law. This removes bureaucracy and paperwork, and in the same time increases the access to primary and ambulatory care for the patients and the communities that PAs serve.
Nurse practitioners have actually had this autonomy since 2022. Brennan, Michaela?
All right, Ron, thank you. We'll see what happens in the budget due 4/1. Governor Kathy Hochul has signed a new bill into law broadening the definition of rape here in New York, not only including sexual actions, but also covering more forms of sexual violence. She says those additions are things that any everyday person would consider rape, but until now it has fallen out of the legal definition.
Roughly 90% of rape survivors are women. But the problem is rape is very difficult to prosecute. That's because New York's archaic laws define rape in very narrow terms.
The governor adds she hopes with the changes, survivors will be more open to reporting these crimes, knowing that the law is behind them going forward.
Hiding drugs or vapes inside of a computer mouse might seem far-fetched, but the parents at the Gates Chi-Li School District had to see it to believe it. The district hosting a hidden in plain sight program, which shows parents how creative kids and even brands have gotten when designing their products in order to hide drugs, vapes, and other substances.
They can make things so easily hidden in plain sight, like a highlighter vape. Like, that's not applicable to adults, you know? That's more targeting the younger generation. I'd say like social media influences it. You may see your favorite celebrity vaping or smoking marijuana or things like that.
Parents were guided through a mock teen bedroom where the hiding spots were then uncovered. They were also shown items that may indicate that a teen is smoking or drinking.
A park in Penfield is getting a makeover. Town leaders say LaSalle's Landing by the Bay on Empire Boulevard has been awarded state funding for new infrastructure. It's a grant of more than $600,000, comes through the Waterfront Revitalization Program. This will be used to design and build what the town is calling a comfort station. New restrooms, storage, as well as a pavilion in the back. LaSalle is a hub for nature activities. It's also used as a kayak and boat launch.
It provides comfort to users. Nothing like going to a park and then needing to use a restroom and not having one available to you on site or even nearby. I think it also provides some visual cue that there is this park here. So you see the structure. You know, you might not notice it. It's a small little area of land. There is signage. There's identified sort of parking area, but you might not know what it is or if you're allowed to go there.
No firm timeline yet on the build, but the town expects design to happen this year, construction to follow in 2025.
Eastview Mall announces a number of new additions. You'll recall that Barnes & Noble that should open up this spring. They'd announced that a while back. Build-A-Bear is now moving just 2 doors down from its former location into a smaller spot. A couple new businesses coming their way soon, and a new level 2 EV chargers that the drivers can find at the Tesla charging stations as well.
Some more business news here. A local furniture company is closing its doors this year. The owner of RubyGordon, Aaron Ruby, made the announcement on his LinkedIn page yesterday. This was founded nearly 100 years ago in 1936. In November, Ruby filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and it has now decided to just close up shop. He says that decision to admit defeat and relinquish control is not an easy one, but he does not regret the move, adding he's unsure about the next steps, but is blessed to have his family around him moving forward. Going inside the Buffalo huddle, the Bills made a big move to retain rising star coach and Bobby Babbage. He was promoted to defensive coordinator with 3 other teams in the league interested to give him the same job. He came to Buffalo with now head coach Sean McDermott, coached safeties from 2018 to 2021, and turned into All-Pros Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer in that time. Babbage moved to linebackers in 2022. That's when Matt Milano had an All-Pro season immediately, and Terrell Bernard had a great campaign in his first year as a starter. And now the question here, he's DC, but who's calling the plays?
He feels he needs to put someone else to call the plays. We would do that. If he is like, man, yes, I can do this, I want to do it again, then we would go that, because there was nothing that left me saying he couldn't wear both hats.
And we'll see what happens in the offseason. Bills still making headlines, even though they are done. Not going to be in that big game coming up in about a week and a half. Sorry to bring it up. Yeah. Watch it right here on News 8. Got that?
Yes, that's right. And we've got a pretty quiet stretch, maybe even until the Super Bowl. On the 11th of February. 30 degrees Rochester, Dansville at 32. Penn Yan, just a hair below freezing, 29. Could be some slick spots around there, as we did have some melting. Going into this afternoon, I do expect to see temperatures climb to about 40 or so, then come back down. Cooler air ahead, but sunshine by the weekend.
All right. Thank you so much, James. Thank you for sharing your morning with us here, everyone, on News 8 at Sunrise.
Yeah, that's it for us. We'll see you back here at 7:25. CBS Mornings coming your way.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.